Today we're gonna talk all about rules. How many should we have? What should they look like? Why rules are important? All of that is about to be covered in today's video. No one goes into teaching because they love creating all sorts of rules and have to explain their procedures and stuff like that, but unfortunately, it just comes with the territory when you're a teacher. So today we're breaking down what good classroom rules look like and how they're worded and why they're important. So right into it. Rules are important because if a student doesn't know what you expect, then they just kind of act however they want. Teachers who are more clear on exactly what their expectations are way more successful in classroom management. And stating those expectations in big overarching classroom rules is step one. So I get asked sometimes, how many rules should we have? What is a good number for rules? The best number of rules is 3 to 5 in a classroom. Now, less than 3 and you don't cover enough expectations. More than 5 and it just kind of becomes like this list of do and do nots, and it's way overwhelming. Studies show that kids can track about 3 to 5 rules and really remember them and understand them and do them most of the time. So I would shoot for 3 to 5 rules in your classroom. Another rule guideline is that they should be positively stated, which is just such like a semantics thing, but rather than saying something like, don't touch other people, that's a don't statement. A more positive way to say it is treat other people with respect, or keep hands, arms, and legs. Hands, arms, and legs? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Hands, arms, legs. Sorry, I got caught up in my own thoughts there for a second. Oh, good grief. So, keeping hands, arms, and legs to yourself is a positive way of stating do not touch other people. And the reason why is there are some students who are a little bit more on the defiant side. And so if you tell them don't do something, they'll be like, I'm gonna do it anyway. But if you phrase it like, this is what you should do, then it's more helpful and everyone just kind of understands like, this is what we should do. Another rule guideline is that they should be brief, about 5 words, 6 words area at most. They should be able to remember it and be able to recite it and be something quick and catchy that they are able to know. So don't make your rules like super long and lengthy. That's not going to be very helpful for your students. And lastly, they should be broad enough to cover every major area of your classroom. So what I mean by that is a rule about respect is good, a rule about treating others kindly is good, and you can go into more details later about what that means. In fact, I highly recommend that you do several lessons on each rule so that they very clearly understand what each rule means, but it should be broad enough that the students have a sense of what is expected, but not so specific like, you will sit here each day. That's not a rule, that's a procedure. So procedures and rules are a little bit different. I'll talk more about that at the end of this video. Another bonus tip is that rules should be posted where students can see. So I'm actually going to show you my classroom rules here in my classroom. Okay, a couple things. Thing one, these are not my rules that I came up with. These are the whole brain rules. So if you're interested in whole brain teaching, I can have a link to that resource. It's actually on my website already. It's a really good book. You should check it out. And second of all, is it clear that I have a Disney obsession? I should really, oh no, you can see my classroom tour video, but I have a slight obsession with Disney. Anywho, I digress. Let's go over the rules. Rule 1, follow directions quickly. Rule 2, raise your hand for permission to speak. Rule 3, raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. Rule 4, make smart choices. And Rule 5, make your dear teacher happy. My students and I go over our 5 rules with hand motions almost every single day for the first 90 days. I am not even joking. And then as the rest of the year goes on, we continue to review them as needed. So we have hand motions. Would you like to see them? This is great. I just showed them to you. They're posted up there. Here we go. And they repeat, it's like a call and response. So they would repeat after me. Rule number 1, follow directions quickly. Rule number 2, raise your hand for permission to speak. Rule number 3, raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. Woo! The woo is just for fun. Rule number 4, make smart choices. And rule number 5, Mrs. Bowen's favorite, keep your dear teacher happy. So like I should be able to say, what's rule 2? And they say, raise your hand for permission to speak. And I'm like, a quick thing about rule 4 and 5. Rule 4 and 5 are kind of like my catch-all rules. So if there is like something that student's doing where it's like not specifically stated like in the first 3 rules, it kind of catches it. So for example, I had a student who thought it would be a good idea to trap a spider in his hands and then like throw it at a girl's, you can't make this up, throw it at another student. And I said, what are you doing? And so I gave him a consequence. He said, there's no rule against it. I'm like, is it a smart choice? And he's like, no. And I said, am I happy right now? No. All right, so that's rule 4 and 5. So the keep your dear teacher happy, I like kind of talked to them about how what makes me the happiest is students who are working, doing their best, and being good friends. So that's kind of how those rules work. Now, you do not need to use my rules. You can come up with your own rules. But these are just rules that have worked for me, and so I've just kind of kept them because they work really well. They've got fun hand motions, and the kids seem to be able to remember them really well by the end of the year. I want to hear what your rules are, so go ahead and leave your rules in the comments below. Now, rules are kind of hand in hand with procedures. Rules are like step 1 to set up like the expectations of the classroom, and then the procedures kind of support the rules. If you want a list of all the procedures that I teach at the beginning of the year and then follow up throughout the whole year, then I will leave a link in the description below for my full list of procedures for free, so be sure to check that out. It's been awesome talking about rules. Can't wait to see you guys next time. See ya.